Off you go.
So, well, this is a sort of pivotal spot in the vineyard. The lower part, most of the vineyard is down here. Up to our left is a little parcel that we pulled out a long time ago because the yield was terrible. But we're going to use that to capture water. So we're not going to plant this bit here, we're going to let the water land on it and then bring the water to the bit behind me, the top of the vineyard. And when I like to stop and think, I like to come and sit here.
Sorry,
it's one of
I need to catch up
the
here.
few parts of the vineyard where there's actually got a nice little seat, and it's a nice place to survey the vineyard from. And if you come just towards me a little, Amanda, I want to sort of point down here. We're going to start up to 8 terraces of vine. So it's quite steep, this first bit. So we're going to have a terrace, a terrace, a terrace, going on following the contours down to, you can see, maybe you can't see on the camera, but some posts down there. And that's where there's going to be a ditch. So all the terraces, the water's going to start flowing from behind me here, from the bit of land that we've captured the water on, through a ditch. We need to sort of point it down to where these poles are. And it's going to come cascading down and then flow onto the first terrace. And then each terrace is angled slightly. If you can see my hand, the next terrace will be angled like that. So the water, like a marble run, will flow down here. Then it'll go down into a French drain and come out on the next terrace. And then it'll flow down here, down through a French drain onto the next terrace and down here. So there's going to be 8 or possibly 9 or 7, depending on what the geography allows us to do, of terraces. And each terrace is going to have 3 or possibly 4 rows of vines on it. And each terrace is angled slightly back towards the slope. So the slope's like that at the moment. I'm going to cut the terrace slightly at an angle so it'll go back towards the slope. So the water won't cascade over the terrace, it'll slide back and then run down to the next terrace.
Why a French drain?
Drain française, I don't know, they call it that in French. Maybe the French invented it, I don't know why they call it that. Known as a French drain, and it basically is where the water soaks through, you leave some stones and then you have a little tube under the ground, so the water soaks in and through the tube and then out the other end and then carries on down the terrace. That's the plan, and then I'll tell you the next plan later on.